But when you start to continue it, that what happens is that people start to see you over and over and over again. And that's called brand, hold on, let me remember this, brand continuality. Is that the right word? Brand continuality. Brand consistency. I knew it was a C word. Brand consistency. So brand consistency goes kind of hand in hand with marketing consistency. And so people start to see you more often. And now we need to see a minimum of 3 times. They need to be touched 30 times. I remember when I was in school, it was like 9 times. And now we're at 30 times. They have to be touched 30 times. The ability for them to see you 30 times is much more powerful in a recession than it is in a non-recession, just to give you guys a heads up. So even if you're not the strongest brand out there, even if you're not the most powerful brand out there, even if you're not the most amazing, whatever it is, the consistency has a bigger weight than that other side of it, right? So the more you can put out there, the better it is overarchingly. And so one of the keys to this is that you want to first focus your marketing on your existing clients or warm leads. A lot of people spend a lot of time in this, like looking for like cold leads, but I really, really encourage you to start with your warm leads as much as you can. In a recession, 65% of your warm leads will convert in comparison to 13% of your new clients or cold clients. So warm leads have a much higher conversion rate than a cold in a recession, like even way more than normal. Usually it's like an 80-20 kind of thing, but 65% higher chance of converting. So a warm lead means somebody who is aware of you, somebody who is like following you, somebody who has some kind of interest in what you're doing. A warm lead can also be somebody who's in your pain demographic. So somebody who you can quickly navigate through their pain point to be able to convert them faster is also a warm lead. If they're a cold lead, like let's say somebody wants to teach me yoga. So sorry, Barbara. Somebody wants to teach me yoga. Like I'm the cold lead because that's not happening. Like I just do this. This is all I do when I do yoga. Like I just fall over, right? And so that's a cold lead, but Kelly, our other expert, right? Kelly would be a warm lead because she likes yoga and then she gets, for some reason it makes her happy. I don't understand. But so she would be like a warm lead, even though maybe Barbara's never had a direct conversation sales call with her, right? That's the difference between the warm and the cold in a recession. And then rely on them and then start building up your marketing strategies and your marketing techniques and tactics for those warm leads, because even if they don't convert, they can bring in warm leads for you. And that's really, really important. It's a missed opportunity most people don't think about, that even when people don't hire you, there's always that opportunity for them to forward on. I have definitely had in the past, and I know Amber and I have talked about this before in the past, where I've had clients where I was like, this is not a good fit. I've refunded their money and then they brought me new clients, which is just the most ridiculous thing in the world, but it really works because like follows like, right? So lean on that existing clientele and those existing warm leads as much as you possibly can to be able to maximize your money and your dollar value. And that's one of the things about like Fave Lifestyles that I like is that there's a lot of warm leads because there's 1,000 people in Fave and we're all seeing each other kind of stuff, right? So just maximize that. And then lean on that consistent branding. Make sure that your branding is very, very consistent. However, whatever you can do, and I know Amber's probably way more passionate about this than I am, but make sure that it's the same. It's really important. Sometimes I see brands like testing a whole bunch of new things out. And that's not exactly what I was talking about earlier about A/B testing, but make sure that the overarching brand is the same when you're doing this over and over and over again. Make sure it's very, very consistent. And one of the things I really want to point out to this as far as timeline goes is that return on marketing and return on branding starts at the 18-month mark until the 36-month mark. Okay, so that's your window to kind of see what the return is going to be. Very rarely do you invest in marketing or branding or any of these kind of what I call the softer business skills, because people are like, oh, I bought a toothpaste and now I'm brushing my teeth with this new toothpaste. Like it's not an instantaneous kind of thing. Marketing and branding does have a longer turnout, like a longer flow chart. however I want to say that, but it lasts so much longer. So it's kind of like constantly feeding it for those 18 months. And then that return kind of starts doubling down and your compound starts happening faster and faster and faster. So just remember, just put those expectations is that you really want to plan for a 3-year marketing plan with a monthly plan with a weekly plan on top of that. Like do your quarters, yearly quarters and weekly and stuff. But understand that it still takes time to build that in, statistically stating. As you are building that in, you can start doing your A/B testing within those 18 months. That's really important to start doing your A/B testing within those 18 months. But Karen could probably speak to this. Like took us about 18 months for that click to happen with Pinterest, right? For that turn to happen with some of these other things that we were working with Fave Lifestyles. It wasn't like we started Fave Lifestyles and 3 months later we're like, wee, right? So, we're seeing the things happen. It's the patience is really hard. But again, this is the best time to do it because you're going to be closer to that 18-month mark than that 3-year mark. But be consistent and also understand that companies that are consistent and take these recession times to do the return, they're 20 times more successful at the end of recession than any other company that doesn't. So again, that compound on your marketing investment skyrockets towards the end of a recession in comparison to companies that don't invest in marketing, they stay kind of stagnant. So you're kind of looking at like this. This is how that curve goes. You're kind of going like this and you might kind of like, we kind of do this kind of thing. And then usually about the end of the recession, it starts to tip up like this. And then it just really, really expands. And that is a statistical over 120 years of market research that's been done. But that is really important to understand the timeline. I think people miss the timeline on these things. The very, very third thing, if you really, really want to narrow down your marketing message and really maximize and make sure that you're doing those things to make sure you get that 20%, at the end of the 20 times at the end, is make sure that your marketing message is emotionally based, not transitional based, right? Not transactional. So it's never features, it's value. Never features, it's always going to be value, right? And that's that emotional pain. So there was a case study, because I have to read it because there's a case study down here. So they did a case study, the World Advertising Research Center did a case study of 880 companies during a recession, during the last recessions, on their advertising and marketing and branding campaigns. And they discovered that emotional engagement turned out to be the most profitable campaigns versus transitional messaging. So even when people were doing discounts and sales and broadening out, their messaging that was emotionally based did better than sales. Their messaging that did to the pain points actually had a higher percentage return, a bigger profit than those that did pain points or sales or discounting and all that other kind of stuff. So it's really, really important to kind of remember that kind of stuff, is that when we're going through all of this, you don't always have to discount. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what you have to do. What you have to do is narrow your messaging down as targeted as you can to what the real problem is for your demographic and your client. What is keeping them up at night? What is stopping them from moving forward? Tiffany's doing thumbs up or something. I don't know. Maybe she's dancing with me. What is their stress point? And usually
what is keeping them up at night is a huge, huge thing.
Yeah, it is. It is, because that's not like, that's what I'm not kept up about, like, did I make enough money? I'm like, am I going to lose my house?
Right. There's so many other things.
Me up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that, like, is my, what's going on with my kids? Are they going to graduate? It's these emotional things that are like, so those are the problems that we kind of have to solve. And how to solve or keep your house with a website, that's my job to go figure that crap out, right? But I need to know what their pain is, right? And prioritizing my message in a recession towards that. And I think Don Miller talks about this a lot in that book that we talked about earlier, which is, the brand. I forgot it again. Karen, what's the name of it?
Story brand.
Story brand. So good. Okay. So And also make sure that it's not the pain point that you assume, but it's their real pain point. And I'm going to say, even I fall in this category, 90% of what I assume is the pain point rarely is. And that's really, that's a bitter pill to swallow when I'm wrong, because I assume I'm always right. So being able to talk to clients and ask those strategic questions in that discovery calls, or you know, consultations, or whatever it happens to be, multiple times to really get to those points, to understand what that fear is that they could say it's a fear of money, but is it really a fear of a failure? Is it a fear of humiliation? Is it a fear of, you know, my husband's going to yell at me and then I'm locked in? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on in their dynamics. So there's a lot of emotional kind of things. So, and finances are very stressful for a lot of people. So, okay. So find out what the real pain is and solve that problem. Focus on that value that you're going to give to them. And then two final things. One, and I talked about this before, is the MVP, which is, again, that minimal viable product. If you're ever going to do an MVP, if you ever want to test new marketing strategies out, recession is the hands down best time to go do those. I've done, again, like I said, I think 3 MVP trainings with Fave Lifestyles now so far. They are, I think they're up on Accelerate today. If they're not, we'll re-add them up there. 42% of failed businesses in a recession are lack of market need. It was an assumption, not a reality. So an MVP helps you just get rid of that, to start, you know, getting rid of, and you'll know within those 2 weeks, within that 4 weeks, within that 8-week timeline, whatever your decided timeline is going to be, you'll know if this is a real market need or not a real market need, so you can move faster towards your investment and what you're doing. And so that's why Facebook did MVP. That's why Uber's an MVP. That's why Amazon's an MVP. That's why Slack's an MVP. They were all MVPs. Even I was reading the other day, what was it? It's a gum company, not Wrigley's, not Juicy, one of the gum companies. They, you know, one of the old gum, I'm going to say whatever, Wrigley's, because, you know, they've been around since the dawn of the dark ages. So Wrigley's gum company, right? They started off by selling soap, and then they gave away like baking soda as like an extra freebie, and people like the baking soda more. So then they said, oh, we're going to sell baking soda. And then they gave away gum as the extra, and the people like, I like the gum more. And so they're like, okay, I guess we're selling gum now. And that was the trigger kind of thing, right? So that's how they became a gum company, was that they just did that quick turnaround just to do that market testing. Hey, people like this better, right? That's a 100-plus-year-old example, but the same rules apply on an MVP. Is like, you know, is this solving your problem? Yes or no? Does this work? And if not, let's pivot faster than normal. And then the final thing, as far as keeping track of all this stuff, Barbara, you typed something. Hold on, let me go over there. Oh, it's extra. I do like extra. Such a good, I do a lot of extra, is ClickUp. So I know Amber's finally on board with ClickUp. I've been like gobbling about ClickUp for years and years and years. Well, maybe 3 years, but it feels like forever. It's the best thing to keep track of all this crap. So if you are looking for a software to help you on some of this stuff, I cannot highly recommend ClickUp more. I do have a direct link, an affiliate link that I can send over to you, you know, so give me my $4, because that's, I think I make $2.72 or some shit, so really whatever. But ClickUp has been a godsend for me to track the A/B testing, for me to track the MVPs, for me to track all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for my company, but I'm also doing this for clients, and it's a lot. There's just a lot of information, and consistency, as I've been saying in here, is the key to all of this. And you can't be consistent without some kind of organizational and structure and working on your business, not necessarily always in your business. And so I love ClickUp. If you're not using ClickUp, start with Trello. Have an Excel document. I don't care. But you gotta track this stuff, like hands down, end of story. You have to track every minute little thing in the beginning, or hire a VA to do all the tracking, or something has to happen, because I guarantee you what's in your head is not what's really going on. Yeah, so, and Tiffany is mouthing things at me, so I'm gonna go that she agrees. That's what I'm gonna assume.
And you said so true, so true.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I'm a planner for, you know,
Yeah.
a living. So if you don't track, you know, you can't reverse engineer it. You don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm like, so true. So, I was just echoing you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yay. But I like ClickUp because ClickUp yells at me. I can track what my team is doing. It tells me when people are not going. It has a whole mat chart. So I can see in the process, like if one employee is screwing up somewhere and that's why we're not at our planned target date. You know, I can put all my goals and my headers and my marketing, my whole business plans in there. All my social media posts are in there. So it keeps track of everything. And that has been a godsend for me. So find a system, and this is the technical side of it, find a system that you can track and you'll be mesmerized of how many brilliant ideas that you had that were really, really dumb. Like really dumb. So I'm sorry, but I have a whole list of them. So you fail faster. That's what I say. I think that's everything. Is there any questions? It was a lot.
Yeah, that's great, Danielle. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do have one question.
Yes.
You said, is there some place where, what are all the things that you need to track? Is there a list somewhere?
I have one in ClickUp. I'll pop it in and Accelerate today.
Okay.
But if I was going to start with your KPIs, that's the first thing you're going to track is your KPIs. Track your KPIs and remember your KPIs. We went through that training, I think it was 2 weeks ago in the Fave Lifestyles where I went through the 3 KPIs that you need to have. Your profit, not your gross, but your profit margin. Track your fucking profit margin like no man's business, like, right? And then the second thing that I like to track, because your profit margin, that's like a big thing, but that's your business. The second thing I like to track is usually if you have staff or employees, like their satisfaction. Just because the cost of hiring new people is so huge, just the cost is so big that you want to get the right people on board and you want to keep them for a really, really long time. So track there. And then the third thing is client satisfaction, customers, right? Making sure that you're constantly solving those needs. So those are usually, like I say, starter point is your 3 KPIs. Sometimes people do KPIs like what's my sales conversion rate, that's another one. What's my marketing conversion rate? But a lot of those are subsidiaries of your profit. Right? So if you want to just focus on your profit because you don't have staff or you don't have these other things, or maybe you have no clients, I don't know. Focus on that profit and your profit margin, your COGS, your OPEX, you know, conversion rates. Those are all really, really good ones. Bye, Mary. Are you heading out? Okay, bye. Okay, Barbara. Yeah, Accelerate today. I'll put the link in there. It's a private club that I have. I think Karen's in there. Amber, I think I have Amber in there as well. Is where people are always asking me questions. So I wanted to put together a place where people can come in and they can ask me whatever it is that they want to ask me. We do trainings, we do a whole bunch of stuff in there. But at the end of the day, I'm not a fluffy girl. I like to get to the point, even though I talk a lot. I like to move forward and take action. So the goal of it is take the 25 years of information that I have of running businesses and teach other people how to accelerate their business so they're not wasting time and moving forward. Hence, Accelerate Today Club. And we need to pop out that Amber helped me pick out the name during one of our masterminds. So just to do that. So yeah, because I don't like a lot of fluffy stuff. Like I really want movement. We waste a lot of time analyzing and not a lot of time taking action. So it's all about moving forward.
So you're gonna put the link in the chat so we can access it, and like you'll tell us what we need to do to join, or I'm still a little confused.
No problem. AccelerateTodayClub.com. It's AccelerateTodayClub.com. All the information's on there. And then how to join is right in there as well. It's right now it's just $10 a month. But pricing is going to go up in January. And I think we've decided on $27, $28 per month after January. So yeah, but we talk about all this in there, and I just needed an entry point. for people to just like, okay, Karen, maybe you're in there, you can talk to it. I don't know.
Yeah. So I really like it because I can ask some questions. So I asked one day about the 3 pillars. What was the verbiage around 3 pillars for Instagram? And I've gone in there and asked quite a few questions. A lot of, some technical questions, some business questions, and love having Danielle go hop on a video and have it directly to me. And Karen, here's the answer. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of me on video doing, just ask questions, we do video, and then,
great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and helping us to grow in our businesses. I just wanted to end, and if anybody has anything else to say, we'll just kind of open it up in a second. But I was in a eWomen network group yesterday. And I don't know if any of you know Marianne and Marlo. She has, she's got a good group over there. And she was working where she said, what are you concerned about or whatever. And she came up with some words that around you ladies. She goes, Karen, I see you. And I see the women that are part of your Fave lifestyles. She goes, they're all influencers. And I thought that was such an eye-opener to me. It's not just that you're an expert. You ladies are actually influencing people in our community. And it just kind of elevated that, because there are lots of experts, but you are influencers because people are seeing you all the time. They're not just getting to know you, they're listening to you. And I've heard women say, oh yes, I see Brenda. And they don't maybe know your last name or the business that you have, but they're starting to know your names. They're starting to recognize your face. And Danielle is another one too. They're like, oh yeah, I see Danielle. She does that business thing. Or she talks about business. And so as you're going consistently live and they're seeing your face, and that is what we want to have happen here, is that they get to know you. That they see.
Well, I have to give you a shout out, because you are always promoting us. Like, you are constantly, giving us shout outs, and you're a big part of that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, because I want people to know you. I want them to get to know your personality and who you are, and you are having an influence. And from somebody who is outside, she is not an active member of our Fave Lifestyles. I just thought that was so eye-opening that she sees you ladies as influencers.
And it gives influencers a better name. I mean, when I first started hearing about influencers, I was thinking about being 23 years old and selling lip gloss.
Right.
But you think about what we are all having the opportunity to do. How cool is that?
Yeah. It just, I thought that was interesting. Right. Yeah. So anyway, anybody else have anything else they want to add, or questions around Fave or anything? What's happening?
Well, one of these days I'm going to get brave enough to do a live. I've never done a live ever. Ever.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Tiffany,
ever. Sorry.
Yeah, we got to get you on there. Absolutely.
Tiffany,
Well, I'll
it is nerve-wracking to get started, Tiffany. It is. There is just no doubt about it.
I've been on radio. I've spoken at events. I've done all these other things, but I don't know. There's something about like.
Yes. Yes. The good news is Facebook lets you go live in a test mode, so you can practice. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can help you walk through that too. So we're here to support you. So.
Because I know I got an email a while back. You're like, you still have 4 lives or something. I'm like, I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, we'll go over that. We'll chat more about that. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we'll get you out there. Yeah. Well, anyway, ladies, it's an interesting week. If anybody needs to reach out, I'm here. And
so Karen, I do have one suggestion.
Yes.
I've taken some classes on using Facebook and all the changes that Facebook has put into place in the last month. And with all these new people you have coming into the group, which is awesome, one of the things that Facebook does is that if people accept into a group via an invitation, they're not as likely to see as many posts. It's funny how the algorithms work. They actually do better if someone gives them the link and they join themselves. They'll see actually more posts. But the way to avoid that, and maybe you already know this, is to have them go to their notifications and set it to all, because Facebook automatically sets when you join a group to just see the highlights. So I make sure I go to all my groups that I want to be really seeing everything, and I go to my notifications and I set it to all. So all these 700 people we hope come in, right, or have been invited, they're still only going to see the highlights, and even less than those because they're coming in from an invitation rather than just coming in through the link.
Right.
And then I don't know if you want to do a post one time or.
Yeah, that's actually really great. I will do that on one of my lives, and then I'll post about it too.
People just don't know. If I just go change my notifications, I see all the posts.
Yeah, actually,
I don't miss anything.
Yeah, my sister mentioned that the other day. She goes, Karen, I don't get all the notifications for your group. Yeah, but if you start going in there and start actually hitting like on some of the posts, they will get more.
Yes, they will.
Facebook will change the algorithms for them. Or if they go in and comment or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes, just, Facebook has been really glitchy. Yeah.
Well, they changed all the algorithms on October 1st. So things are kind of interesting.
Karen, do you still do welcome? I thought you guys did. Right?
We do every Friday. Yeah, I'm actually writing one right now because we've got so many people coming in each day now.
Yeah.
That I'm doing one every day or every couple days. For this promotion. So yes, it's going great. So I will have tips and tricks after we test this out a few times, and I'll pass them along. How to grow a group. Okay, ladies, well, have a great day. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.